welcome back to the channel, guys. Everybody knows what this is. Yes, one of my favorite cars throughout the years, guys, in the shop. God, they must really love this car, okay? And I don't blame them. It looks fantastic as far as the instrument panel. All right, guys, it's in for a couple of things. Okay? Number one, the main problem, the main issues with the PT Cruiser. It says here that the car overheats at idle. Okay? Overheating at idle, guys. All right, think about that for a second. There's some more complaints on here. The rear hatch won't stay open. Probably need some shocks and some noise in the braking system. I will have to test drive it for that. But before I get on the road and test drive to try to duplicate any kind of brake noise, I need to make sure the car is not going to overheat on me and I become stranded in the process. So I'm going to do some preliminary checks right here, right now, before I get on the road. All right, let's start with overheating and idle, guys. What comes into play doing that? Now, as you're idling, guys, yes, your car, the temperature will rise. Okay, there's no way around that. The temperature will increase as the car runs, as the car idle. All right, now there's things in the cooling system put in place that will help bring the temperature back down, even at idling. Okay, it's a vicious cycle, guys. All right, now, one thing that most definitely has to come into play as a car reaches operating temperature, okay, as it surpasses operating temperature, something has to bring it back down to normal operating temperature. First thing first, guys, there's a temperature that the car is comfortable with, okay? There's a certain temperature the car is trying to reach fairly quickly when you start it, okay? That used to be called closed loop, all right? Back in the day, we used phrases like open loop and closed loop. You are trying to get into closed loop as quickly as possible, okay, guys? Emission come into play when you're talking about things like that. In order for a car to burn cleanly, it has to reach normal operating temperature quickly. Now, you don't want it to go higher, a lot higher than normal operating temperature. So you try to maintain it at a certain level, all right? So the cooling system will utilize things such as a thermostat, okay? And of course, the water pump is what's pushing and circulating and pumping the coolant in the first place. All of that come into place, all right? So now, depending on the car, there's a mechanism called an electric fan put into place, all right? That fan is designed to pull air through the radiator, okay? That fan is very much important, okay? In other words, guys, if you're driving on the expressway 60, 70 miles an hour, there's no need for the fan because ram air is doing the job that the fan would be doing had you been idling or city driving, okay? So the fan is obsolete at that point, all right? But the fan is very much needed while you're idling. Okay, in fact, I'm gonna start this car and let it run. This is a quick test I do for fans to see if it's working. This works on this particular car, PT Cruiser. I will turn the AC on. I will go out there and see if the fan operating. If the AC works, the fan should be running, guys. So what I'm gonna take a quick break. It's gonna be hard to test drive this anyway. Ain't no gas in it. I'm gonna take a quick break, guys. When I get back, we're gonna be outside under the hood discussing some more. All right, stay tuned. All right, the car is running with the AC on. Let's see if this fan is on. We're doing preliminary checks on why the car is overheating. Oh, wow, guys, look, there's no hood props. So, wow, I guess I have to hold the hood or go get a pry bar. And I choose to go get a pry bar, guys. Hold tight. All right, guys, I have my prop up. Ooh, I can hear the compressor running. And guys, y'all know what? I do not feel the fan running, okay? Yes, and the AC work, guys. Remember I said the AC has to work. Or the compressor, AC system has to be functioning. You can hear the compressor clutch coming on and off. The reason it's coming on and off because I assume high pressure buildup is making the high pressure switch turn the AC clutch off because the pressure is not lowering. In order to lower high pressure in the AC system, the fan, that's the fan job. So the fan actually doing double duty. It's pulling air through the condenser as well as the radiator. All right, so guys, here's what you should do in an event like this. We have to check this fan. We have to start with the fan. I can see coolant, I can see liquid in the reservoir, so the likelihood of its system being low is slim. And I don't want to let this car sit here and idle and overheat. So I'm gonna grab my scan tool and try to manually turn this fan on, okay? That is a new computer I can see. So let me grab a scan tool, guys. This year model, I will need scan tool, the DRB, guys. So hold tight. All right, guys, I have my DRB scan tool hooked up. We're gonna go, what we're trying to do is go through the process of manually or electronically turning the fan on manually. All right, let me pull up the year, make, and model. The engine size is looking at the controller right now. It has to communicate with the controller in order to pull this off. All right, so determining controller type, please wait. And we wait. God, didn't have to wait long. Good, guys, this is a 01, first year that the PT Cruiser came out. All right, let's check trouble codes first, see if there's any. Read DTC and you come up with nothing. Okay, that fan will not give you a trouble code. All right, now what we need to do is go on the actuator, because I want to physically, manually try and turn the fan on. That would let me know if the problem is on the control side or the output. The fan just not blowing. What we're looking for, ASD, low speed fan. Let's try low speed. Low speed fan is the first motor that should operate when it's in command. Okay, you never go straight to the high speed fan. Let's hit enter and see what happens. Engine is not running. All right, enter, and ladies and gentlemen, okay, according to this, my fan is toggling. Now see that? On, off, on, off. So when I go out here, I should hear my fan going bzzz, bzzz, bzzz. If I don't, ladies and gentlemen, that is when you grab yourself a test light, unplug the connector, and see if the power supply is there. If your test light dim, light off, light off. That is power simulation, okay? That is you simulating power supply at the fan. So if they're at the connector, you have a power source and a ground source, and your fan still not coming on, ladies and gentlemen, your fan is internally shorted. Now, I'm going to assume that, okay, because I have the car on the ground. I can't get it up in the air to show y'all. So we're going to play hypotheticals here, guys. All right, let's assume I have power supply and ground, which I likely do. Let's assume I need a fan. All right. Now, let's discuss the PT Cruiser in general. This is where a lot of people get in trouble, guys. They automatically assume, or they personally induce symptoms of a blown head gasket. Now, this customer obviously don't know that the fan is not working. Okay, there's no way as a customer you'll know your fan not working. But if you continue to nag and let your car baby step overheat, you will eventually warp that cylinder head, guys, and that will give off indication or symptoms of a blown head gasket. This is where that term generated from, guys. A gasket don't just blow. All right, no, something has to induce those symptoms, guys. And this is, I'll tell you what, I go so far as to say a fan can cause that. Yes, a fan, an unknown problem with a cooling fan can eventually make your car baby step overheat to the point where you can be damaging your cylinder head and not even knowing. Guys, this is an aluminum cylinder head. It doesn't take much at all. If your hand reached the quarter mark of your coolant gauge, you basically pretty much took a chance. You could have a warped cylinder head at that point. A lot of people panic when they get to the H. No, you don't have to get to the H on the average aluminum engine car. It has an aluminum cylinder head. So guys, it's the baby steps that you have to jump on quickly, guys. The first sign of overheating will pretty much dictate how long your engine lasts. Because if you let it nag and go on, you don't take a peek over there and see if your car even overheating, that's what gets a lot of people in trouble. No, I'm gonna say this again. A head gasket don't just blow. This is a multi-layer steel MLS head gasket, okay? To me, the head gasket is stronger than the cylinder head. They don't just blow, but you can give off symptoms. That's the key word. You can give off symptoms of a blown head gasket. And that's where this reckless terminology has come from. It has stemmed from the fact that the car is spitting out coolant now because the cylinder head is partially warped. And it drives technicians and mechanics crazy because it's intermittent. It can be intermittent. That head has expanded and retracted so many times. Any given moment, it can expand again. That's when your overheating will start back up. And you'll take it to the shop, and yes, a mechanic would throw parts at it. Thermostat, bleed it, let's water pump, let's do all this, radiator. And a month later, you back with the same problem. That is because your cylinder head is partially warped. I've once driven a car for a month until I finally figured out myself and with the help of engineers what's possibly going on, guys, because they had threw everything at that car. And it's so weird because it'll get past your typical combustion tester, the tester that you use to detect if combustion exhaust gases is in your cooling system. That test will not always work. I recommend doing that test, but it will not always tell you everything you need to know. Oh God, I didn't mean to rant this long, guys. What I'm going to end up doing, guys, yes, I'm going to check the fan, but I can't get the car in the air. I'm on the ground and show you guys. I like to show you guys what I'm doing. I really want you to see my test light going blink, 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 blink. As this is going, is it still doing it? Yes. As this is toggling on and off, my test light will be, that is a true indication that the power source is at the fan, but the fan, low speed motor, is internally shorted. And if low speed motor is bad, the whole fan is garbage. Okay, because that's where the cooling starts, with low fan. High fan, guys, I'm gonna say this. If your fan has turned, the high speed fan motor hardly get any work. It shouldn't get any work at all. If the low speed fan doing its job, if your cooling system working properly, your high speed fan should never run. Okay? Should never run. That's just a fact, guys. Sometimes throw books and everything out the window and use common sense. Okay, if your high speed fan on, you got problems. You are overheating. All right, this video is too long, guys. I didn't mean to rant this long, but I'm going to write up a fan. And like I say, there's some more things wrong with this car. Brake noise and the rear hatch. Okay, all that's pretty simple. We'll talk about that later, guys. For right now, let me write up these estimates and we'll proceed, guys. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. All my PT Cruiser viewers, please subscribe to the channel so you won't miss more talk on the traditional PT Cruiser. This is the old one. This is Generation 1 PT Cruiser. There's still a lot of them out there, and there's still knowledge need to be learned by the average DIY guy. And I'm here for that. All right, so stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. I will be right back.